All right, go ahead.
1, 2, 3. Good afternoon. We're here talking about Fusion 360 LLC and what some of its key products. These are essential micronutrient products that have been proven in all types of crop scenarios. These products are highly soluble micronutrients that are very unique in their own way and really help complement a balanced nutrition in plant agriculture. So one of the first products we want to cover is FG Micros. FG Micros is a very unique product developed by Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom saw the benefits of not just using the 16 elements that the university recommends for plant growth. He always figured that there was always more trace elements in a virgin soil, and he found a very efficient method to apply these different minerals in both soil and foliar to help supplement some of these trace elements and really help with plant growth. So one thing that Dr. Tom always found was that some of these intensely farmed soils that had been monocropped or farmed intensively with heavy pesticides were normally depleted of key trace elements that were essential for plant growth. That's kind of what this picture depicts. One side having sterile soil that has bare minerals that really are just the bare necessities to grow a plant, whereas the other side has better microbiology that helps with mineral release and has better catalyst or different minerals that are going to help with that microbiology growth, and also will help with plant growth at the same time. Some of these minerals are in very minute amounts where you can almost not detect them. But some of the key minerals would be, some examples are boron, copper, cobalt, iron, zinc, manganese, molybdenum, and other trace elements. I know Dr. Tom even at some point claimed gold and silver in some of these trace elements. So there is very minute amounts that help with, that are essential parts of a plant's biology. So how do these catalysts that are found in minute amounts help, or what are their roles? So these trace elements are present at adequate balance ratios in FG Micros. They elevate the plant's physiological, biochemical, and metabolic characteristics by promoting healthy growth. So one way is they help with resistance to abiotic stress, and also prevent enzyme degradation. So the illustration here shows basically what an enzyme might look like inside of a plant, and you can see all the different points where these enzymes or these different protein chains bind together. But without key catalysts such as copper or boron or some of these manganese and zincs or different minerals, you won't get proper activity on the enzyme or proper formation. So when you don't have those key catalysts in place, you might end up with a cold spell or a frost where some of these enzymes will tend to denature or crack or lose its components. So it'll be the first thing in line that will get affected by an abiotic stress. But when you have all these different minerals that help with the formation, you have better structure and better resilience of the enzyme. And also when you have these key catalysts that are found in FG Micros, you also have the better mechanics of the plant, where it'll help drive some of these enzymes to perform its function and drive photosynthetic efficiency, and also drive the production of energy for the plant. So Here's just a fundamental illustration on how, when you have everything in place and you have all the right recipe put together, you can have better plant function and mechanics and get a better response on the plant with these key catalysts. So that's our FG micros. How can FG micros help in plant production? So when applied in a well-balanced nutrition program, along with all the different elements that are required for plant growth, you can observe better balanced plant growth, prevention of abiotic stress, and increase in plant function. So FG micros is really a standalone product when you implement it with just your standard program, but when you really apply it with a balanced fertility program, you really can see the true benefit of FG micros. Some of the other things we want to cover is some of the other micronutrients that we apply, and these are key metals that are needed by the plant in higher amounts, and we wanted to cover some of the role and basically how we can help with supplementing these key elements, and also talk about one of our key products that has been found to be very soluble and has a lot of good attributes to help supplement these key elements. So zinc is one of the micronutrients that are used in higher quantities by a plant. It's required for auxin production. It's required for better lateral growth. You can see some of the benefits illustrated on this diagram here, and you can see basically where zinc is used and where it's translocated and what it's used for. So when you have optimum zinc, you have better development and function of floral tissue, and you're going to have better pollen grain formation, pistil tissue formation, and you're going to have more auxin production, so more lateral growth production. But when you're depleted, you can see a lot of negative sides to it, such as growth inhibition, chlorosis, necrosis, and etc. There's a lot of downfall to having deficient zinc in your plant. Manganese is also another element that's highly used in higher quantities than most other trace elements. Manganese plays a key role in the use of in the change in biochemical pathways. It's also very important for distribution of and translocation of sugars, and it's a key catalyst for certain proteins. So manganese is one that you also want to make sure you have proper ratios when you're looking at your plant fertility program in any annual or perennial crop. And then iron in plants is also very important, used in higher quantities than most other trace elements, and should have a balanced proportion of that as well. We can see here basically within a plant where it's used and how it's used, and how it helps with the Hill reaction on the splitting of the water molecule for better water use efficiency, and also for different oxidation pathways and different methods that is used in the plant. So when we're looking at these different minerals, how can we apply them to where they are soluble and absorbed by the plant and always kept in balance? And that's where Dr. Tom came and developed this product, Integrity Z422. It's both organic and inorganic form. We have both forms, but he always found that when you're applying these key elements in the soil or in a foliar, you want to have the most soluble form as possible, and using a highly soluble superior chelating agent is very important when applying these elements as well. So that's where Integrity Z422 comes in. It's highly complex, highly soluble, readily available for the plant. When you provide this product, It provides a balance of zinc, iron, manganese, maintains proper nutrient ratios, and it's highly chelated form of nutrients. So it's one of our, it's a standalone product. It could be used in many scenarios where you're deficient on all these minerals, or where you're trying to supplement these in a balanced program as well. So in this illustration, we're trying to show why is it important to supplement all these different nutrients and all these different cations and everything we've been talking about with FG Micros and Z422. And we can see here that they all have a specific role. When you're looking at a plant growth, if you're looking at photosynthesis, seed development, root mass, ear fill in corn, or even reproduction, all these minerals have a specific need or a specific role. And it's always important to keep them in balance and keep them soluble where they're being readily absorbed. And well-balanced nutrition is probably the most important part, where you're not throwing the plant off balance and supplementing just one, but where you have a all-around product. That's where Integrity Crop Boost came in. It kind of brings the best of both worlds on these two micronutrient products. It was developed with the intention of having a well-balanced formulation of both Integrity FG Micros and Z422. It's also important for the ease of the growers, so they don't have to be guessing on how to best mix these two products. Just having one standalone product was the intention of this. It's been applied in different crop scenarios, such as bell peppers, where we've seen an increase in crop yield and better plant response. It also helps maintain the balanced ratios of all key catalysts, so you can be assured that when you apply this in the foliar or in the soil, you're getting a all-around application of all your micronutrients and also your trace elements that are recommended for a plant by basically Dr. Tom standards. That's our Integrity micronutrient line with Fusion 360. Done.